What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. A new Emerson College polling inside California politics poll shows that Kamala Harris is the overwhelming favorite to become the next governor of California. According to polling, nearly 6 out of 10 of those surveyed, 57%, chose her as their preferred candidate out of a list of several local California politicians. Former Representative Katie Porter, who left the House to mount an unsuccessful Senate bid last year, had the highest support under her with 9%. So she's almost 50 points behind the ex-speaker, Antonio Villaraigosa, I guess is how I pronounce the name, Villaraigosa, current Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kanalaki. Oh, these names, man. 4%, 17% were undecided. So she's the overwhelming favorite to become the next governor if she chose to run. Because of course, you would assume that her sights are set on another presidential bid. And you could argue that, well, look, if she runs for governor, is she really running to be, in all sincerity, the governor of California? Or does she just want an office to catapult from and run in 2028 to boast about some sort of legislative victories or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Is it more strategic? To me, I think she should run. I think she should go ahead and run for governor. I'm going to tell you why. This is just my opinion, okay? And I could be wrong. Although I don't think there's any right or wrong answers here. One of the perceptions of Kamala Harris, right, is this ridiculous DEI bullshit. Oh, you know, that she was, and I hate that term because it's inferences that, because it's almost always used against Black people or quote unquote people of color or minorities in general. And the implication is that it's a program used to help those who aren't really qualified to get positions. And there's always that element out there, these WSs who think that anybody who doesn't look like them is not intellectually qualified to get certain positions. Now, I do believe that there are some programs like those who try to get people, those who have intellectual deficiencies. Okay, that's one thing. But yeah, if anything, DEI helps white women and Asians more than anybody else, if you want to be statistically accurate here. But having said all that, right, one of the perceptions of Kamala Harris is that she hasn't really won any office on her own merit since she was elected to the Senate. And I think even in that situation, if I remember correctly, I think she was a replacement candidate. From that, so I might be wrong about that, but anyway, she hasn't really won anything on her own, if you want to call it that, since she was elected to the Senate. That was what, 2017, I think. So after having lost this presidential election. And it's not like Al Gore in 2000, where Al Gore overperformed, and you could strongly argue that he was robbed of the presidency. Kamala underperformed. All of this polling was showing that she was favored to win. She was leading the most swing states. She had it in the bag. And come election day, she lost every swing state. And she had the worst Democratic performance from electoral college perspective since 1988. So I think she needs to show that she can win big. I think she needs to. Now, I understand it's California, and generally from a statewide perspective, Republicans are screwed. They cannot win in that state. The last time a Republican won a statewide race was Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2010. And we're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, a movie star, movie icon. And he was, even by Republican standards, obviously, he was very liberal compared to what we see today. You know what I'm saying? He was moderate to liberal on most of his positions. He wouldn't even fit in the current Republican Party anymore. So yeah, she should run, and not only should she run, I get a sense that 2026, the political climate is going to be favorable for Democrats. First of all, they're going to be very, very amped up because they're pissed off with Trump winning in general, and they're pissed off with the policies that he's implementing. And let's be honest, a lot of things he's implementing and trying to push are from Project 225, right? Uh, they're really pissed off about that. So I would make the assumption that they're going to come out in record numbers in the midterms, and they're going to try everything they can to turn the tide when it comes to state representation, federal representation, local representation. So if anything, there's probably going to be a blue wave in 2026. She could benefit from that, obviously. I mean, she's already going to win in California, but she could be the face of that. She could become the de facto leader of that from the largest state in the union with the largest amount of electoral votes. She could become the face and the leader of that movement because really the Democrats don't have any real leader right now. Biden's gone. He's signing contracts right now in Hollywood. I don't know what he's trying to do. And he's old. Barack Obama, he's somewhere, I believe the rumors, trying to save his marriage. And plus, he's persona non grata with a lot of people that were once big Obamaites. So the Democrat Party need a leader. Bill Clinton's not that guy anymore. Hillary Clinton, they're off to pasture for the most part. The Democratic Party needs a leader. Now, to me personally, I don't think Kamala Harris is a leader. I don't even think she's a really great politician. You know what I'm saying? But 75 million people did vote for her. And there's that. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't really see a lot of great stars out there. I mean, you have AOC. I think AOC is about the best they have. But I don't even know if I don't even think she's still old enough. Will she be old enough in 2028? I think she will be old enough in 2028, but I mean, she's very, very young. And honestly, we have not had a congressman move successfully from the lower house to the presidency since technically 1880. Technically. Because if I'm not mistaken, James A. Garfield was about to be selected because back in those days, the senators were not selected by popular vote. They were selected by state legislatures. And I think he was slated to become a member of the Senate, but he ran for president, and that overlapped that appointment or something like that. But anyway, we hadn't had a congressman go directly to the presidency since 1880. So that's something that just doesn't happen. So if AOC was to try to be a legitimate candidate, I think she has to run for Senate. So I think she's probably like a couple election cycles from being a legitimate presidential candidate anyway. Maybe 2032. And I think she would still be like at most what 40. But anyway, that's how I look at it, man. I'm not saying that she's going to win 2028, but between now and 2028, uh, that's a political eternity. And former vice presidents who lose elections to become president, former vice presidents generally don't fare very well. Like if you lost an election to become president immediately after the terms of the president, they generally don't fare very well. Walter Mondale ran 4 years after his boss, Carter, lost. Mondale lost an even bigger landslide in Carter. Al Gore never ran again after 2000. Uh, Biden didn't run in 2016. If he had, perhaps he could have won that version of Biden against Trump. Um, yeah, it doesn't really happen often. Nixon did, but that was very, very. He had a lot of luck on his side with that situation. But anyway, that's how I look at it, man. Tell me what you guys think.